Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, Bagoday Crochet. So today I have a stitch tutorial for you. It's a very easy, it's just a 2-row repeat, which very similar. The repeat rows are pretty much the same, except for you start and stop differently. It does look the same on both sides, so that's always a plus. This is called the Crossbill stitch. Isn't that pretty? So all it's made up is single crochet for the foundation row and then double crochet the rest of the way. They're just placed in different spaces on the row to make a different effect. But yeah, it's really cool. Great for whatever you want to use it for. You can kind of see a little bit of the pattern it makes. I like it that it's the same on both sides. So do you guys want to go ahead and get started? The Crossbill. All right, I'm gonna set it to the side. Now remember, this is a stitch tutorial, so you can make whatever you want to make out of it. I'm just going to show you how to make the stitch. For that particular swatch here, for my sample, I'm just using it's Neko Mona Lisa yarn. It's a medium weight number 4 acrylic. And for the purpose of the stitch tutorial, I'm going to be using an eye, which is a 5.5mm crochet hook. So the Crossbill stitch is worked on a foundation row of single crochet. And it's done in a multiple of 4 plus 2. So what that means is you need to, whatever you're going to make, you need to chain in multiples of 4. So 4, 8, 12, stuff like that, until you get it as big as you want it to be, whether you want a blanket or a scarf or a shirt, whatever. And then you add 2 more to your base chain. So for my sample right here, I have chained 26. 24 is my multiple of 4, and then I added 2 more to my base chain. So this first row here is going to be our first base row of single crochet, or our foundation row. So we're not going to call it row 1. So what we're going to do, once you get your multiple of 4 plus 2, we're going to do a single crochet in the second stitch from our hook. Now remember, we don't count the one that's on our hook, so that would be 1 right there and 2. And in that second stitch, we're going to single crochet. And then we're just going to work across, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch for the length of our chain. Alright, so I'm going to continue along, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch of the chain, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of our foundation row here. Alright, so once you make it to the end of your foundation row of single crochet, you should have 1 stitch left than what your starting chain was. And now we'll go ahead and begin row 1. So we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. That chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And we're going to go back into that very first stitch and we're going to put a double crochet. Just like that. And now we're going to start the repeat of row 1. So we are going to skip 2 stitches. Skip, skip, and in the next one we're going to double crochet. So yarn over, skip 2, skip, skip, and double crochet into the next one. And then we're going to chain 1. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the very first one that we skipped and double crochet into it. So we're going to yarn over and just go back into the very first one that we skipped. So you'll have an empty one there, empty space, empty stitch in between, and double crochet. And it kind of crosses over that one in the front, just like that. So that's a double crochet cross right there that you just did. And now we're just going to put a double crochet into the next. Now this part's important because that double crochet we did right here, it kind of stretches and it makes this stitch look empty, but it's actually not. So make sure you look closely and you can see that that has a stitch in it. So in the next stitch, we're going to just put 1 double crochet. And that's the repeat for row 1. So again, we are going to yarn over and we're going to skip 2 stitches. Skip, skip, and double crochet into the next. And then we're going to chain 1. and then we're going to back it up and double crochet back into the first stitch that we skipped. So yarn over and back into that first one that we skipped, double crochet into it. So we're just kind of crossing over that double crochet we just made, just like that. And then we're going to put a double crochet directly into the next stitch. There it is. That's pretty much how it's done. Let's do it again. We're going to yarn over, skip 2, skip and double crochet into the next, and chain 1, and then we're going to back it up to the first stitch here that we skipped, yarn over and go into it like that, grab your yarn, pull it up, and it kind of crosses over that double crochet you just did, and double crochet like normal, just like that. And then we're going to double crochet directly into the next stitch. Always remember, I know this one looks empty, but it's not. It's got that double there. So make sure you go to the next empty one and put 1 double crochet. Again, we'll do the same thing. So we're going to skip 2, skip, and double crochet into the next. Chain 1, back up and double crochet into the first stitch that we skipped. Just like that. And then 1 double crochet into the next empty stitch. So this one's been worked, you can see, just like that. So this is the pattern that we're going to repeat until we get near the end of the row. Let's do it again. Skip 2, skip, and in the next one, double crochet, chain 1, and then back it up and go back and double crochet into the first stitch that you skipped. Just like that. And then a double crochet into the next empty stitch. Just like that. So go ahead and repeat that pattern until you have 1 stitch that remains. Alright, so I'm coming to the end of row 1, and I just did a cross double, and I have 1 stitch here left. I'm just going to go ahead and end by putting a double crochet into my last stitch. That ends row 1, just like that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start row 2. Row 2 and 3 are the repeat rows. They are pretty similar to what we just did, but let's go ahead and start row 2. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. That chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So we're going to go back into this very first stitch, and we're going to put 2 double crochets into the very first stitch. So there's 1, and there's 2, like that. And now we're going to start the repeat of row 2. We are going to put a double crochet in that chain 1 space of our first cross double here from the previous row. So just right through this space, put a double crochet. And now we have to do the cross double again. So we're going to skip 2 stitches. So we're going to skip this stitch, and then in the next stitch we double crochet, chain 1, and then we're going to go back into the first stitch here that we skipped and double crochet into that, just like that. So that's our cross double, and if you looked, the empty stitch that's always left is that 1 double crochet that's by itself. And now what we're going to do is repeat. So we're going to put a double crochet in the chain 1 space of that cross double from the previous row. So right here we double crochet, and now we're going to do the cross double again. It's going to go skip 2 stitches, so you skip this one and double crochet in this stitch. Make sure you chain 1 after that, and then go back and double crochet into the first stitch that you skipped. Just like that. And if you look, you can see that the stitch that's left empty is that 1 double crochet from the previous row. And now again, we're going to double crochet into the chain 1 space of that cross double from the previous row. And we're going to cross double again. So skip 2, double crochet into the next. Make sure you chain 1, and then go back to the very first one that you skipped and double crochet into that one. And that is the repeat for row 2. And we're just going to repeat this until we get near the end of the row. 1 double crochet in the chain 1 space there of that cross double from the previous row. And again, we're going to do a cross double. We skip 2, skip, skip, double crochet into the next, chain 1, and then go back to the first one that we skipped and double crochet into that, just like that. So I'm going to keep repeating this pattern until we get near the end of the row, and I'll see you there in just a second. Alright, so I'm coming to the end of row 2. I just did a double crochet in that chain 1 space of our last cross double here on the end, and I have 2 stitches that remain. I'm going to skip 1 and I'm going to put 2 double crochets into the last stitch, because we started with 2 double crochets in the first stitch. We have to end with 2 double crochets, and that will end row 2. Alright, now we're going to start row 3, which is pretty similar to row 2, other than we start and stop differently. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now we're going to start by putting 1 double crochet into the very first stitch. So just 1 double, like that. And then we'll start the repeat of row 3. So we're going to do our cross double first. So we're going to skip 2, skip, skip, and the next we're going to double crochet, chain 1, and we're going to back it up and double crochet into the very first stitch that we skipped, just like that. And then we are going to do 1 double crochet in that chain 1 space of the cross double from the previous row, so right there. And that's the repeat for row 3. Let's do it again. We're going to do our cross double, so we got to skip 2, skip, skip, and double into the next, chain 1, and then go back to the first stitch that you skipped and double crochet into it, just like that. And then we are going to put a double crochet into the chain 1 space of the cross double from the previous row, right there, 1 double. There it is. So you can see it's the same, except for we start and stop it differently. Other than that, both rows are the same. So let's do it again. Cross double. So we're going to skip 2, skip, skip, double crochet into the next. Make sure you chain 1, and then we're going to back it up and double crochet into the first stitch that we skipped, like that. And then we are going to put a double crochet in the chain 1 space of the cross double from the previous row. And now we're going to go ahead and repeat this pattern all the way across till we get near the end of the row. So again, a cross double, skip 2, double into the next, chain 1, back it up and double into the first one that we skipped. There's your cross double, Now we're going to put a double crochet into the chain 1 space of the cross double from the previous row. All right, so we'll continue this, and I'll meet back up with you when we get to the last stitch of our row. All right, I'm coming to the end of row 3. I just did a cross double right here, and I have 1 stitch left because you can see I worked that stitch there. I'm just going to put a double crochet into that last stitch, and that will end row 3, and that will end the repeat rows. We just keep repeating rows 2 and 3. So for row 4, we're just going to repeat what we did on row 2. We chain 1 and turn, and we start with 2 double crochets on the even number rows. So 2 doubles into the first stitch, and 2 doubles into the last stitch on the even number rows. And on the odd number rows, we start with 1 double crochet and end with 1 double crochet into the last stitch. So I put 2 doubles into my first stitch. Remember, I'm just repeating row 2, and you can see right here is a cross double. So we're just going to go ahead and put a double crochet into that chain 1 space of that cross double. This is starting the repeat, and then we're going to cross double. So we skip 2, skip, skip, double in the next. Make sure you chain 1, back it up, and double into the one that we skipped, just like that. And we repeat again, double crochet into that chain 1 space of that cross double from the previous row, and cross double again. So you skip 2, double in the next, make sure you chain 1, and go back into the first one that you skipped, and double into that one, just like that. Double crochet into the chain 1 space of the cross double from the previous row. So I'm just repeating row 2. So that's all it is. It's just a repeat of row 2 and 3. And after a few repeats, it starts to look like this. I think it's really cool. You can do a lot of good stuff with it. It's a neat stitch. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. I hope you were able to follow along okay. If you make something out of this, I'd love to see it. You can show me a picture on my Bagoday Crochet Facebook page. Don't forget to hit that like. And if you want to, you can always subscribe and check out my hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tutorials. I have anything that you can make and multiples of them too. Bye guys. Take care.